One. And we are live, Roger. Welcome to the show, man, representing Kala Coffeehouse. I'm so excited to have you on today. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for having us on.
Absolutely, man. Are you enjoying this rainy Mason Monday? Or it's not a Monday morning. It's a Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning. It's Waffle Wednesday here at Kala Coffeehouse.
So, yeah, and I definitely want to talk about that because you guys are doing some really cool stuff there, and I'm a big fan of the Buckeye waffle there. I mean, you guys are I think are a leading edge when it comes to not only coffee but just also community atmosphere and just genuinely just great service. So
yeah,
what I want to do is I want to just dig into you and your background, and maybe you can share some of Jackie's background too, since she's not here with us. But talk about first of all, like how you guys came together and met, and then let's segment that into how you came to grow a wonderful coffee business here in Mason, Ohio.
All right. Well, we came together because we actually were high school sweethearts years and years ago, and back in our hometown of Mexico, Missouri. And she stayed there and had a career as a speech pathologist in the school system. I left and joined the FBI and spent a number of years bouncing around the country in the FBI. And both of our marriages ended up in divorce, but we had great kids. We reconnected about 9 years ago. I was back home and we got reconnected, and about 6 years ago, about 6.5 years ago, we got married. And so she moved to Mason, Ohio, and we live here, and I've been here for 23 years now. And we were enjoying retirement. Both of us retired on pensions, loving life, but we go to Access Christian Church here in Mason, Ohio, and they built out a space in the building here for a coffee shop. Could not find an established coffee shop to come in. I have a little coffee interest history, and it just came to be that we were led to be doing this and create this Kala Coffeehouse with the church here. So we created an LLC called Our Leap of Faith, and that's exactly what we did. We just took a leap of faith. Neither one of us had business experience, and we're running a coffee shop, and we're coming up on Friday, 1 year. We're going to celebrate our 1 year birthday this coming Friday.
Man, that's crazy. So I love the connection to the church because, I've been on your website multiple times, and, you guys are not, you're not shy about sharing what your mission is. And so I really want to get into that. Talk about how did it, talk about where you got this, and I don't know if I want to say passion, but this interest in coffee. Like, how did that come about?
Well, I've always loved coffee. Had to have my coffee all my career in the FBI. If you didn't drink coffee, you were ostracized almost because guys would make coffee at 4 o'clock in the afternoon to finish the day.
Yeah.
And so I've always loved coffee. Really, what transpired, I think, for us to come to have a coffee shop here was my son was in some training down in Georgia. I went to visit him one time, and he said, "Dad, I want to take you to this coffee shop." And so we went to the coffee shop where he quote studied, and I saw that it was set up kind of quaint, nice, and the real thing that drove me was that they sold jewelry made by women in an African tribe, and that money went back to support them. And I just thought this would be pretty cool. At the time, I thought I might go to Tennessee on another adventure and jobs. And I kept looking at the lakes down there and saw little garage, old gas stations that were defunct. And I thought, it'd be cool to set it up, sell stuff, help support somebody. How it kind of went by the wayside. Fast forward to Jackie and I getting together. She wanted to do maybe a bed and breakfast. I had the coffee idea. We actually looked at starting our own coffee shop and realized what a undertaking it would be, and it was just too much for us in retirement. Put that with the church. Our church built out the space, couldn't find a coffee shop. They knew of our interest. And basically he preached, Stephen Sams, the minister, preached from the service one Sunday and said, "Hey, we're not having any luck getting a coffee shop set up in here. We're looking for anybody that would be willing to step up and in the congregation and do this. And it was like, we'd been praying about what should we do?
Wow.
How do we give back?
Yeah.
And it was like a God with a 2x4 across your forehead. This is it. So we have no business experience, really no coffee business experience, but we've got great partnerships. I partner with Coffee Emporium. Tony at Tausch at Coffee Emporium gives us I buy my coffee from him. He's given us training, mentoring. So that's got the coffee side up, but Jackie is a master hostess and foodie. And she comes up with food end of our shop. I handle the coffee side. We've got great employees that just come to us.
There she is. Jackie, right there. Yeah. It's a live cameo with Jackie. How are you?
Go ahead, you can talk.
She
wants to know how you are.
I'm fine.
Good. I don't know if your ears were burning, but Roger was just talking about how you are a supreme master hostess.
We love what we're doing, that's for sure.
Well, I'm glad you jumped on. We are so excited to have you here today. And just a quick story, Roger and I were talking a little bit about this, and you guys know my buddy Aaron Schaefer, who is a Mason police officer there, but he was texting me last night, and he's like, he knew you guys were going to be on today, and he's like, I'll put in a good word for you. And Aaron's a really good friend of mine, and he was telling me, I'm in there all the time. I said, he said, I know Roger and Jackie, they know me, and I'm not sure, though, how good it is that he needs to put in a good word for me, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know my reputation was that bad, but I guess I can laugh that one off.
Yeah. Aaron's been coming in since we opened almost a year ago.
Yeah. He's a real fan.
That is awesome. Well, like I said before, I mean, what you guys are doing is really special. I mean, the mission. Talk a little bit about the name, because where did you come up with that, or was that something Access had already come up with, and you guys just kind of rode the coattails of what they were, what they had in mind or their mission.
What you just said.
Access came up with the Kala Coffeehouse name, and they own the brand Kala Coffeehouse. We own Our Leap of Faith LLC, and we operate the coffee shop through Our Leap of Faith. So it is truly a joint partnership in together. So Kala is Greek for good. It's a Greek word for good. So we came up jointly with the tagline, a good cup for a good cause. Mm-hmm. And that fed into our joint desire to give back and give back to the community. So the purpose of Kala Coffeehouse is to be a presence in the community, the physical space to be a place for people to come and connect and be part of the community. The coffeehouse part of it is to provide great coffee and great food, and it seems like that has all come together. We have people coming in, working from on their laptops here. We've just developed a great relationship with a bunch of people. We have I think we're heading toward 8,000 individual customer interactions, but we have a huge number of return customers every day. And it is about reaching and connecting people to each other and it's not about Access Church, it's not about Coffeehouse in particular, it's about connecting people. And people come in here and connect all the time.
Yeah.
And the biggest portion is our give back to charity.
Yeah.
And we decided we wanted to support youth, and that's what we do. So we have several charities that Jackie is great about explaining to our customers how we operate. All our tips go to thing you might want to.
Yeah, we decided as the four of us, the ministers and Roger and I, decided that we wanted to support local youth, so they need to be from Warren County. They need to have a variety of needs. And the very first group that we supported is called Greater Project, and they're a local nonprofit staffed entirely by volunteers on their board. And their original reach out was international, both in Africa and India. And then they personally saw a huge need locally in the area for kiddos who are vulnerable and homeless and a lot affected by the opioid epidemic. So their connection is to support those kiddos specifically, and we had volunteered with them prior to opening the coffee shop. So they were kind of a no-brainer for us to start with. We came out of retirement basically because of the give back component of this whole operation. And it's just heart melting how well it has done and how many people come in and say, we're here because we read your story and we love the concept that you give all the donations 100% back to the community. So the second group was called Building Blocks for Kids, and they support kiddos who have developmental challenges. And I am a retired speech pathologist. And so the very first kiddo that we provided services for the year was a little guy with autism that we provided his speech therapy services. And when they walked in the door and brought his picture and handed it to me after we had partnered with them for 5 weeks, I burst into tears. It was just, it's very personal for us. And they knew that that's where my heart was. And they tapped into that very specifically for us. So the connection goes beyond just our give back. We've built a great relationship with all of the sponsors for all of our causes. They come in here regularly. They have meetings in here. They do shout outs whenever we have some kind of event. They're all going to be here Friday for our birthday party and set up their booths and explain a little more about themselves to customers who are here that day for sure. Our third group is Big Brothers, Big Sisters. And we very specifically said, it needs to be local. So they have sponsored to date 3 bigs and littles, and one of them is the son of one of our staff. So it's just the way all the dots are connected is just fantastic for us. Right now, our new cause is called New Life Furniture. And again, because we support the youth, they have an aspect to their program that gets beds for kids. And so that's the piece of that we're supporting, gets kids off the floor and off of couches and into a bed, moves their entire family from homelessness or domestic abuse into a living situation with gently used furniture and, household supplies that will get them going. So I just can't, I'm in awe, really, truly, of how much our customers support that. And then how we've just connected with the perfect, for us, just the perfect groups that support the youth. And we were very intentional about that because we feel like if we touch the heart of a child, the ripple effect going forward is just immense. We can't even measure it at this point.
And not only our customers buy into it, but our staff is just so supportive. They don't take tips, so our tips go to the causes. So we are hoping, I don't know whether we'll make it, but we were at $19,000 right before Christmas for starting in January of last year. We were at 19,000. We're hoping to hit 20,000 by Friday. I don't know whether we'll make it, but we'll make as much as we can. So
you heard it, guys. I do want to. What can people expect when they come in on Friday? Because Friday's a really big day, right? I mean, that Friday marks a 1-year anniversary for you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
If they come in on Friday, what can they expect?
Oh, probably all sorts of surprises.
Yeah.
Me with some kind of headgear that's going to look probably a little goofy, or all of us at the manager level. And we're going to have a cake at 11 a.m. We'll share that cake with our customers and friends as long as it lasts. 25% discount on any purchase across the board all day Friday. Good coffee, good food, and just a lot of fun. I think.
And all of our causes will be here. So they get an opportunity to meet the people that staff all of the give back that they provided over the past year, including we partnered with, this isn't one of our specific give backs, but we did serendipitously start partnering with Promise Water. And it just so happens that the daughter of the man that founded that organization, and they're more of an international organization. So they provide clean water if you buy a case of their water, it provides 100 gallons of clean water in a third world country.
Wow.
So specifically partnering with them doesn't fit exactly with our cause parameters, if you would, that requires they be local youth. But we're happy because I was not a big fan of doing bottled plastic water. And when she walked in the door with a case and said, would you consider selling this? She didn't even have to finish her spiel. I said, yes, if I'm going to do, because we had plastic water bottles from Costco. We have 3 gyms connected to our facility.
Yeah.
And it was just pretty much, I kept getting bugged about having water. So I had done it and got the water at Costco. And when she walked in and said, for every case that's sold, 100 gallons of clean water is provided in a third world country, I said, done, we're in. And then we sell it individually by the bottle and also by the case. And she's coming as well on Friday. So really every component of our give back will be represented on Friday. And I'm really excited about that because people will actually have an opportunity to speak with them. And we've had a lot of customers who want to know what they can do besides just donate. Are there ways they can get involved with some of these organizations? And this will give them that perfect opportunity to connect and figure out what they can do beyond. And I love that our customers want to do that. They want to do more than just throw some money in the tip jar. They want to actively be involved with some of these causes.
Did you guys ever dream that your impact would be this far reaching in only 1 year?
Oh, no. No.
Idea.
Yeah, no.
We're
because
amazed.
we are told regularly how hard we are to find.
Yeah.
So we consider ourselves that hidden gem of Mason. And when the chamber awarded us with the People's Choice Award at their dinner in November?
Yeah, back
last year, we were in shock. They actually developed the award for us because we had gotten the overwhelming popular vote. We were actually nominated for a different category, which we did not win, but we would take this any day of the year because the people from the chamber who have also connected with us so favorably come in here all the time. We do their coffees once a month, and they're just a great group of people. And when the people who know us really well said afterwards, this is a whole new category. We've never awarded this before, but the people love you. So we joke around and say when people find us, so it's like a scavenger hunt, and welcome to the team. You completed it. I feel like we should give you a stamp.
Yeah, Mike, we had no idea that we would be where we are right now. I laugh and tell people when you don't know what the heck you're doing, you don't know whether you're doing it wrong. So we're just doing stuff, and I tell you what, in today's world with all the animosity and the issues out there and the news that is just drags you down, people love coming here and getting away from it. They love the cause. We just like to have fun, and this is a safe place to come and just connect and not have to worry about the outside world, dragging you down. So,
well, I know one person that loves you. Amy Lortz just chimed in from the Common Brew, and she said it's her favorite coffee shop.
Oh,
yeah, we love Amy and Mark too. Hey, Amy, we love they got a great little beer brewery going up there in downtown Mason. It's awesome. So.
Yeah. So here's what I'm really getting plugged into you guys, and what I'm hearing is the success of this business has really not been willpower but why power. It's a business with a heart. And you guys have a mission, and you're excited to get out of bed every day, especially once you have that cup of coffee, right?
Right.
And you're doing something that's bigger than yourselves.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing how often at noon we haven't had a cup of coffee yet. You'd think we would just have coffee flowing all the time, but we're so busy sometimes. Oh, I haven't drank a cup of coffee yet. So, but that's okay. This has energized us. We both just are loving doing it.
Yeah.
It's just it's not a job. It's fun. So,
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, we got to dive into the menu. Okay, that's obviously going to be something. We've been talking for almost 20 minutes, and we haven't dived into the menu or dove into the menu. Excuse me. And so what I really want to do is talk about. Let's talk about coffee first, right? So you mentioned some partnerships with your coffee, and so talk about that, and then talk about anything that you think might be special to the consumer out there who's considering coming to get a cup at Kala or is already coming there.
Okay, well, coffee's kind of my end, and we got connected with Tony Tausch at Coffee Emporium. He's probably the biggest roaster in Cincinnati for many, many years. And he provides us the coffee. He actually lets us brand his coffee with our Kala Coffeehouse brand name. Just a great guy, and it's a great organization. So we get our coffee, and we constantly get comments about how much they love our coffee, and it's Coffee Emporium coffee that we and I bought an espresso machine, a high-end espresso machine used from him. He's just set us up for success in the actual coffee end. And then we, again, don't know anything about it, so we just kind of research, and we've got girls that do great coffee art or latte art now on top of our good coffee. And people come in and say, can you make something similar to a local chain coffee shop? And we go, well, that's a brand name of theirs. However, what is it? And I'll just play with it and make it, and they seem to love it. So we're pretty much kind of tailor-made to what they want. So we can do lattes, cappuccinos, regular old coffee, Americanos. So we got the whole spectrum down there. But probably the biggest draw for pairing up is Jackie's end, is the food end.
Well, but we need to also mention, because before we ever opened, friends of ours would say, well, I don't drink coffee. What are you going to have? What else are you going to have? So we're cracking up going, we really don't know what we're doing. We're trying to just figure out the coffee. But of course, we do have some great teas, iced and hot. We have one of our favorite coffees that kind of took off is our Cashew Coffee. So I don't know of anybody else that serves that, but it's just our brewed coffee with dry roasted cashews, a little honey, and some sea salt. And we have people addicted to it. A gal came in this morning who said she's so addicted that if she happens to be in the hospital, she's going to put on her living will that she needs to have Cashew Coffee in her IV.
And it's the cashews, honey, and salt all blended in a blender.
So, and it ends up being dairy free. So our people who don't do dairy also love it. You can have it iced or hot. Raj makes the best cold brew in the area. We've had people go on vacation and come back and say, this isn't just the best cold brew in Mason or even Ohio. It's the best cold brew in the country, because they've been other places and tried cold brew and they don't like it as well as ours. So he's the master of the cold brew.
And I would agree with that, by the way. I would definitely. And to your point, can I get something made from one of the chain coffee shops? I would say that would be the least of your worries, is getting something similar to them. When you go in, I would say you could expect a much better cup of coffee or any of the other myriad of drinks that you guys produce.
Well, that's what we hear from customers.
People love the other top favorite non-coffee drink is our hot chocolate.
Right.
So we use Ghirardelli cocoa powder and infuse that into the milk. And Raj makes house-made whip. So nothing from a ready whip can. He's very, and we also have smoothies and fraps because, again, forced into that. So that's our drink end. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of things offered at that end that on First Fridays that they have events going on here. We shut down the food end, and people are pretty happy with all the beverages that are available at that point in time. So you want to hear about the food?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because it is Waffle Wednesday, by the way, right?
It is Waffle Wednesday today, all day.
So when we started, she said, hey, if I'm going to be part of this, can I have one of those fancy waffle machines that like you see at the hotels? Absolutely. I got her a double one so she can cook 2 waffles at a time. And by golly, we almost need another one of those.
Yeah, no kidding. So my mantra at my end is to try and stay as local, organic, processed and preservative free as I can. That's how I would cook at home. And, I'm by far more of a hostess than I am a businesswoman. Raj at one point kind of had to sit me down and say, you really have to charge people for some of these things that you're, adding on there. Okay. So, on Waffle Wednesday, we always have a fabulous whole wheat waffle topped with Raj's fabulous homemade jams. So he makes all the jam. He's like a mad scientist in the kitchen at home. And we've had pear and ginger peach and strawberry basil jams, and all of them are wild favorites whenever we are serving those up. We get our breads and our muffins from Blue Oven, so a local bakery that's organic, and they're in Williamsburg. Yeah, so they grow organic wheat. They have wood-fired ovens. Their product is phenomenal. No preservatives in it. I mean, I can literally turn a sheet around that's been laminated and show people every ingredient in. Nowadays, with all the allergies, I feel better about making sure they know exactly what they're getting. And then we, when it's not Waffle Wednesday, I always have a seasonal. There are 2 waffles every Wednesday, the whole wheat one always, and then a seasonal one that's varied from a lemon poppy seed to pumpkin to right now it's the Buckeye. Yeah. So it's a chocolate waffle that's not overly dense and chocolatey. It's just, again, flavored with the Ghirardelli cocoa powder, has a house-made chocolate drizzle. But the best is Raj's homemade peanut butter whip that people are obsessed with. So that's our fun waffle for the rest of January. Stay tuned for what comes in February. And then we always have our signature sandwich, which is served, again, on the blue oven English muffins that we found at a farmer's market, and topped with a TS Farms sausage or egg. And people adore those. Again, a sweet, family-owned local farm, no processing no preservatives in their meat. Everybody loves the sausage because it's just so good. Yeah. It's so good. And we love supporting, again, a local business. So it's a family-run farm. And then on non-waffle days, we have toast. So that, again, is on blue oven bread, and we just do a variety of toppings on that.
Avocado mash.
Our avocado mash with an everything or a dukkha topping is super popular. I make the marshmallows that go on our s'mores toast. So we toast those up, and we just have some fun toasts that people really enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Mike, it's a wonder I can fit into the screen here with the food that she...
Oh, and I have to also promote our Paleo Primal Sweets. Again, a local woman-owned business that's just around the corner from here. A lot of people are familiar with her product, come in specifically to get it. So she has a certified gluten-free kitchen, which is a whooping big deal. And that's kind of my sweets gluten-free option for people. So all of her product is gluten.
They're delicious.
Yeah, they're gluten-free.
Paleo Primal Sweets, right?
Paleo Primal Sweets.
Yeah.
And it's owned by Amanda Wells. And her husband is actually a police officer who has been coming in. Yeah, with Aaron, a buddy of Aaron's. His name is Levi. And he would come in with those guys the first 6 months. Yeah. They were on the day shift and they'd come in together. And Levi would buy the paleo here. And I was cracking up going, can't you get it at home? And he goes, no, she won't. She's too popular. She won't let me have it at home. I have to go places and buy it.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
Get Amanda on the show. I think she'd be an interesting person to
she would.
talk about.
She would.
I love the fact she's local, obviously, right?
Yes, and she's a sweetheart. So all of her product is gluten-free, wheat-free, dairy-free, soy-free, and refined sugar-free, but not
flavor-free.
I have my entire staff trained to chime in at that point, and they're great. But it is. I have, for the benefit of my customers, sampled everything in that cabinet. And
Me too.
It's
Me too.
so good. So good. And good for you. It's a treat you can feel good about.
That's incredible, man. So, I one thing I just thought about when you guys were talking is I bet Access had no idea what they were getting into when they actually asked you to do it. Because
No, they did not. They wanted people who knew,
Yeah, they were expecting just a coffee shop, right?
Yeah.
It is so much more than that.
It is. We're we have a guy that comes in. He's the Big Brothers Big Sisters coordinator. He comes in. He sets his office here. He actually comes in and sits at a table, the same table. He actually takes one of the benches, puts it behind him like his credenza, and we give him trouble all the time. Well, Brian, is your office all set up to your liking? And he introduced me to one of his new people that he brings in all the time. And this morning, I told the new gentleman, I said, this is like Cheers. Brian walks in, hey, Brian, and he gets no respect. We start busting his stones right away. And we have so many customers that we have such great relationships with that we, if they're not getting trouble from us, they know they're in trouble. They're not being loved by us because we just bust on everybody and they bust on us too. So we have a great time.
Yeah, well, that's what truly makes you special is your connection with your customers, and that's why you'll continue to be successful, and that's why we're so thankful and grateful to have you here in Mason. Is there anything that I should have asked you that I didn't?
I don't know. You pretty much hit the nail on the head when you asked whether we thought we would be successful like this. We take it a day at a time. The beauty is we don't have to have a great success, financial success, for us to put food on our table. Having pensions, it just allows us to give back. But I think the model is such that people love it, they support it, and you could actually make a living. I mean, I think we will in the long run, but it's really the connection with people that's the main thing. We just have fun with it.
We actually went away in April after we'd opened the end of January because Roger's son and his new bride were having a reception in Florida. So we drove down to Florida and we're gone for about a week.
Right.
And when we got back, our customers were saying, and even our staff, so did were you able to not think about the coffee shop? What did you miss the most? And I said, as customers started coming in that we knew, it literally just took me by surprise and shouldn't have. But I said, you know what? Didn't really worry about the coffee shop. I knew the staff had it covered. They knew what they were doing. Our manager's phenomenal. But I missed my customers.
Yeah.
And when you walk back in the door and see their friendly faces coming in, and that's what it resonated with me, that's what I actually missed, was seeing them and connecting with them, because they'll go on a trip or they'll have something major happening in their life, and they'll come in and say, would you pray about this? Would you pray for this? Can we, and they let us know. I have a customer who I probably know more about her than probably some of her family members. She just comes in and steps down to the end where I'm making waffles and shares and really shares. And one day the minister was here and saw her chatting away. And when she left, he goes, she really likes you. And I said, we're kind of like family to a lot of these folks. And I love it. I love it that, we just are the Cheers, the coffee shop version of Cheers. And I couldn't love it anymore.
Yeah.
That is spectacular, guys. Well, listen, thank you so much for taking some time out of your busy morning to come on the show. I will be down Friday, definitely to get a latte. That's my favorite drink. And I encourage anybody who's watching or listening to this video to come on down. It's the 1-year anniversary for Kala Coffeehouse, and just, come in, enjoy the community, have a cup of coffee, and get to know somebody, right?
Yeah.
Have some fun. Have some fun.
I love it.
You can poke fun at me all day long.
Yeah.
And see what mystery outfit Roger might be wearing.
Absolutely. It'll be worth the price of admission, which is free, by the way.
Well, guys, thank you so much. It is truly, truly a pleasure to have you on the show, and I wish you all good things.
All right,
Thanks,
Mike.
Mike.
Appreciate it very much. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.